month's new moon Cancer, which falls on the 10th of July, depending on where you are. It's going to be London time, GMT at 2 a.m. 16 minutes. And for those who stay in the States, it'll be in New York or LA. I believe in LA, it's roughly about 6 o'clock in the evening, so it's today, because we're on the 9th when I'm recording, and later on in the evening, about 9 p.m. last night, of course, all the way in the east, we're going to be experiencing the March day tomorrow. So I'm going to do a general overall reading, and I've decided to try something new. There are two things I'm doing new today. One is I'm actually going to be revealing a deck of cards that I've been sent called the Multidimensional cards, which is really exciting because I actually call myself a multidimensional coach, and I was quite moved and intrigued by these cards, and I feel that as a life coach, it is really important that we really look at all aspects of people and help people through various dimensions of their life, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and nutritionally, or whatever. Obviously, not everyone's going to be skilled in these aspects, but it is really important to be really kind of integrating, I believe, and in order to really help people. And that's what I do. In any case, back to the reading. So that's the first thing I'm going to be doing shortly. And the second thing I'm going to be doing differently is I'm actually going to be introducing the elements of astrology for different astrology signs for the new moon reading. So I'd really love to have your feedback and see if this has spoken to you, because it's something I will be attempting to do today anyway. And I'm going to timestamp it so you can obviously skip to your sign. Okay, now another thing I need to really make clear about is wherever your moon falls, this is a new moon in Cancer, so that's what's important. And you need to see at where your Cancer in your chart, which is roughly about 18 degrees, falls in your chart. Okay, and that will tell you specifically where your themes are. Okay, so for example, mine is in the 8th house, so that will be to do with shared resources, building closer relationships around money, and also actually around intimacy or sexually. All right, so if you're somebody in the 6th house, your moon will be affecting your work. So maybe the emotions around your work. What kind of emotions do you want to experience around work? Are you feeling very emotional around work? So all these aspects will actually be individual. Okay, if it's in the 1st house, for example, I just lost my page. That'll be generally a very dynamic new moon as well. So you might have a lot of energy, a lot of fire in your moon energy as well. So a lot of fire in emotions, and you might be somebody who feel very passionate about various things. So this will also, like I said, really depend on where the moon in Cancer falls. Obviously, I don't want to go into great detail here. I try and keep these readings as time effective as possible. I know we're all really, really time pressured now. I'm personally feeling it myself. I think there's so much out there, so much, articles, so a lot of social media platforms, a lot of people having their opinions, voices, and channels, and really, wow, it is quite an intense time. And I don't know if you've been feeling it, but I certainly have been feeling it. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight into the reading, the general reading of Cancer. Now, Cancer is all about nurturing, nourishment, taking care of the self, okay, to do with family, to do with nurturing your mother. It's a mother sign as well, okay. It's very feminine and very nourishing and nurturing, what a great-grandmother would do, a mother would do, okay. So this is about these elements, really bringing that into our lives personally. Okay, so like I said again, now do listen to which sign your moon will fall in. So again, and if you don't, just follow your sign as well. So you'll be looking at different aspects. There are 4 elements. There's the water signs, for most of you know. There's earth. There's the fire, and then there's the I've forgotten what the other one is called. Just say water, earth, fire, and air. Okay, so of course Aquarians, Gemini, and Libras fall into air. So do look at that if that's your sun sign anyway. So there'll be some message for you there. Do look at your moon sign, where that falls, okay, into what sign it is. Okay, so for example, in the natal chart as well, just to complicate things slightly, and I hope you can keep up with me. Cancer actually in a basic natal chart falls in the 4th house, okay? But in my chart, I have Pisces sitting there. So I will then listen to maybe the water sign, because Pisces is water. So I'll look at the water element during this spread, which I'll be doing live here as I'm recording, okay? But coming back to this, my take is this Cancer full moon, not full moon, new moon, really for me is about coming back to yourself, okay? Tending to yourself. So while it is normally about nurturing others, thinking about others and nourishment and everything, I think with everything that has gone through, it is really important time for one to start really kind of tending to their own soul, tending to their own hearts. And I feel that the message here is really clear. I've got a few cards here already spread out, and I'm just going to go straight into this general reading. Okay. So for some of you, it's really important that you start actually really living out of a fearlessness when it comes to your own self-care and self-love. You've got to be fearless. You've got to start claiming what is important for you. Okay. This is not a time to put yourself on the back seat or the back burner. And this is not about, not many people are comfortable to what seems and feels like being selfish, particularly if you're a natural empath or an overgiver, or an over-functioning person. An over-functioning person is somebody who always goes out of the way to do something for somebody else, rescuing somebody else, being in a relationship where the partner is much more dominant and you take care of their needs. That is somebody who's over-functioning. We've all been there, okay, and we all learn from them, I hope. Okay, and some of you could be really stuck in these kind of dynamics as well. But pay attention if this is you. This is very much a time for heart healing. So I really recommend that everyone across the board listening to this starts doing or really patient to what the heart needs healing from. Okay, we've all got wounds from our childhood. Somewhere along the way we've been scarred through maybe physical abuse or some kind of emotional neglect or abandonment, or not being cheered on, or not being encouraged to do things. And these aspects really follow us through. So inner child healing is really paramount at the moment, and it will continue to be that until you actually start owning your own core sort of vibrancy in your own self. Okay, it's really important that you are awakening your true self. And the only way that happens is not through the mind, but through the emotional center, the heart center. Okay, the other thing, another element that I really want to bring into this counseling is self-belief. It's really important you start believing in what you want to do, what you can have, and perhaps maybe even what you want to dream up. A lot of people, in fact, you know, things have been hard. We've all been challenged. And sometimes over the years, we can feel a bit worn out, okay, downtrodden or be in a funk as well about things. Okay, this is the time to really get into your core heart center again. Okay, and start believing that you can. Obviously, you know, let's be realistic. If I'm 54, and if I decide I'm going to be a gymnast for the Olympics, that's just not going to happen. I know that's an extreme example, but let's be realistic. Okay, there's a certain realism to this, but also, you know, but it's what is my ideal life? You know, this is about really kind of calling up and calling in what one's desires are. Okay, in this Cancer new moon, with the new moon energy, the intentions are really paramount for us to be able to do this. Now, some of you could be feeling quite tired, maybe you've had some sleepless nights as well, and it's a really good time to retreat. Okay, to actually go into your cave, go into your, you know, if you've got a family life and partners to look after, be it husband or wife, you know, do carve yourself some time out from everybody and really retreat. Okay, if you can give yourself that would be really important as well. Go out into nature. Cancer's element is water, so going by lakes, streams, brooks, the seaside, wherever your calling is for the emotional, the water element, that would be also very, very healing and a really sort of self-caring thing to be doing right now. Okay, I do feel like some of you are going to be going through a phase where there's a certain amount of discomfort. Okay, I know for a fact that a lot of people feeling some kind of discomfort, becoming aware of certain things can't be held in anymore in terms of communication. Perhaps you're noticing that actually that, you know, your partnership that you've really put up with for a long time now is beginning to show up physically with pains and aches. Okay, and when your body starts aching, you're having chronic pain, be it through your feet, legs, back, it doesn't matter, you know, Cancer, anything really is a chronic form of a psycho-spiritual disconnect, okay, where your mind and your body and your spirituality is actually so disconnected. You've so denied yourself your truth, all right, that it can become really chronic. And sometimes we don't even realize, because it just it's a drip by drip effect. So again, there's going to be a certain amount of discomfort, but it is really important that you now start building up some courage, and you start seeking some help, start doing some kind of new programs or therapy if you need to really start getting you out of the rut or the funk that you're in, okay? And be brave and bold enough to break away from any friendships or partnerships that are really not serving your energy field anymore, okay? And a lot of people I know have been very sensitive to that, and you might want to actually take some self-care, and maybe you need to cancel some arrangements that you might have had with certain people in your life as well, perhaps because you're feeling the need to actually take care of yourself and really clear your energy field, or rather, sort of stay with your energy field to be clear. Okay, we're all on a different level of self-care, but the Cancer new moon is a real important, absolutely brilliant time to be doing this, okay? Really take time to reflect on what's around you and notice your feelings towards a job you might be getting, or towards a contract, or towards an organized event that maybe you said yes to, and you're now feeling, oh, I really don't want to go. And what happens is you start doing the should thing, right? Oh, I should. Or a friend calls you out the blue, or rather texts you out the blue and say, let's have a chat, and you're just about to do something, and then you think, oh, I haven't spoken to for ages, and what happens? You end up speaking, and then what happens is there's always something going to be reflecting back, okay? We're going to be getting really strong messages as to what's not working, okay? When we've sort of self-abandoned, when we've sort of self-sabotaged, okay? So this is really important. People are sent to us to reflect back on our healing and what needs to be changed, okay? It's going to be different. This is a general reading right now, this Cancer aspect, okay, which I'm offering you. So, okay, and then, so like I said, also it's about time for retreat. Retreating is really important. So take time out, close the doors, put a sign on the door saying do not disturb, do whatever it is, and whatever it takes for you to have that time. If it means taking yourself physically out of the house, going for a walk in a park or somewhere green, that's absolutely ideal. And like I said already, by water would be really lovely, particularly still water, I think, at this time, maybe not a raging sea, but again, just trust what's mirroring out there. Maybe you feel like you need to lash out and release some rage and pent up anger. So if you live by the coast, then really use that. And if the sea is, being naturally raging, perhaps an opportunity for you to actually really let out and rage your voice out, and start maybe just howling, as well, if need be. Now, just trust that we are in a cycle, as all moons are. We have to go through a cycle of the waning moon, the waxing moon, and the new moon and the full moon. So wherever you are, it is really important that you just know that you are where you are in your own journey and in your own path. And you don't have to get somewhere. You will naturally arrive there as long as you keep on coming back to your heart center, trusting that the heart is going to navigate the truth, and your truth is going to be different from mine. Okay, so take all of this with a pinch of salt. Okay, and finally, I feel also the message here for me, the general message this is some of you are going to be cultivating on some new information, okay, to do with yourself, to do with your health and well-being. It could be nutritionally, okay, it could to do with actually doing more meditation and mindful practices as well. And I feel that could be the case. Some of you actually maybe going to go to more ancient studies like Ayurveda, which is something actually I'm doing. But it may be something to do with the goddess, to do with more the female energy. We're all awakening to a new paradigm. So we're all going to be called and pulled in a different direction for Mother Earth healing, for our self-healing. And we also have to, before we can even sort of heal the earth, we have to start also healing ourselves. And they work both in tandem as well, okay? It is really, really important that we really start taking notice of what needs to be worked on. This is particularly a prime opportunity as well to bring some harmony into our lives. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, and it's really important that you start cultivating on what moves you and what speaks to you. Now, this could be a challenge for some of you as well. Perhaps you've put your hobbies to one side. We've got so over involved and so over engaged on the internet, and so many courses and stuff. So the challenge is to actually break that pattern and do something far more nurturing. Okay. This could also be for some of you actually developing new skill sets as well, which could be a monetary gain down the line, or certainly be an emotional investment. Okay. So pay attention to your core. What's stirring things for you in your mind, in your heart, in your body? Lean towards those things. Okay. Particularly after a time of retreat. Again, just pay attention to, if somebody's saying something, what is it reflecting back? Are you feeling envious? Are you just glad that you're not in that dynamic? So again, just pay attention. It's not about judgment, but it's about being true to your soul. Okay. Now, one final thing I really want to also offer is be very discerning. Again, this word has come up in a few of my past readings, but we have been in an energetic field, particularly since the eclipse back in December, which has been a powerful eclipse, really had a ripple-on effect for everybody, okay? And these eclipses are not a lightweight thing, okay? It's like throwing a pebble and, and then there's a ripple-on effect and it just keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going, little ripples. And sometimes there are certain energies that are still active within our energetic field, okay? And that is also part and parcel of the changes that's happening. And one of the changes particularly that I really want to sort of bring is be discerning as to, and again, it's been my regular message about who you have in your life and who you haven't. Okay, this could be a very powerful healing time with families, or you might actually really realize that you can't reconcile certain things with certain family members, despite the fact you've tried over and over again, and you actually really got to a point now that actually you're really happy to allow that to be what it is. And maybe have nothing to do with them because you realize that there's actually never any positive thing that's coming from that direction. Wherever your story is, okay, it's great to have family cohesiveness, but it's also now time to really, again, care for oneself, or just park these elements of duty or obligation if you can. Of course, not everyone can, but in terms of the energetic leaks that has you kind of hijacked around those situations, this is a real time for you to fill and really work with your heart chakra. So there's one chakra I'm going to ask you to invest in. The time you're going to invest in is really start getting centered and tuned into your heart, because it is the heart is now we're coming to we have to come from the heart space as well. No more just the logical and solutions, that logical solutions, because in fact I've been thinking today before this reading as well about how so much of the so-called solutions have actually been sort of the disaster of the world that we live in. Okay, everything that you can imagine, what we're seeing on the news, what we're hearing, be it through the planet. I remember what's been called up for the jury, and then at the Crown Court, this is in London, Blackfriars, and I was so shocked at how many those public bins, public rooms were piling overflowing with takeaway cups of coffee, plastic cups and stuff. And I was just, mortified. And it really breaks my heart to think that, somebody designed it thinking, yeah, we'll have a coffee on the go, and yet it's ruining the planet. It's being thrown, it's being just discarded, same with the masks that we're all wearing now, the gloves at one point were all of them, we are not thinking, the long-term repercussions for the planet, for everything as well. So really it's time to start waking up to how we're nurturing, and it comes from when you start nurturing yourself fully as well. You start really noticing other things beyond yourself, because it just is an extension of that pure heart love and lovingness that can come. So this time really is an important time for you to actually really cultivate on that self-love, so you can actually extend it outwardly. The other thing was one of the solutions of smartphones. I mean, they're destroying people's body, minds, and physical ailments are rife. We've got an epidemic of stress levels going up because of the way that it's been formulated, the way the algorithms, naturally hijack people, and, and then you become unconscious, and before you know it, you're getting roped in, and the whole system is, getting affected. So again, be discerning, please. If there's one message you take away from this Cancer New Moon as well, start engaging to the discernment of what works for you, what is not working for you, and what needs to change in order for it to work for you. Okay, it's really important. And from that, you're going to be able to birth a new birth of your life, of your passions, what's going to really move you forward. Okay, the energy is not exactly clear for most of us. We can't see our way forward, but certainly, like I said, mindful practices, some mantraing, you know, some meditation, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Okay, just be aware that it is a good time to go back to some very ancient practices, chanting if that's your thing, you know, or even getting a particular verse that you might want to recite either from your particular religion or spiritual practice or whatever. Again, you've got to be true, okay? And that will certainly create a doorway for your passion to be clear. It might even invoke some spontaneity, and certainly purge and burn off anything that really doesn't serve you. So if you can take those pointers on board, that'd be really very effective. Okay, and last but not least, I did mention the inner child a bit. So some of you might want to do some inner child work. I do offer that as well. So do feel free to look me up on my website. And if some of you are really finding that you're stuck on some certain patterns and some old stories are really beginning to drag you down and certain emotional upsets are stuck, you know, if it's not me, go and seek somebody who does that kind of work as well. I particularly combine it with the chakras as well. So it's a very powerful shifting of energy as well as psychological traps of thought forms and beliefs, okay, that can really help you move and reprogram your mindset as well as your heart and energy field from something like that, because healing is really required en masse. Okay, it's a regular practice, it's a regular thing, but to be paying attention to the healing that can happen. All right, so I think that's going to be my general reading for the Cancer. Now for the big reveal of this deck of cards. Now, I've not even opened it up. It's still packaged like this. It's come, you know, and it's been sitting on my altar with crystals on them for clearing. And this, like I said, this deck is by Sunny Dawn Johnston. And it's called the Multidimensional Oracle. Okay. So I'll hopefully be stamping this because I will let them know when this is my big reveal. Now I've not opened up, so I don't even know if it's actually sealed. Oh no, good. I might have to open up. So it's not been sealed. Okay, so that's interesting. It's not been sealed, so I don't know if it's been used before, or it could have been a prototype deck, or you know, have a look. So, like I said, I am going to use this today as an extra card for each of the signs. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So this is the back, as you can see. Okay, and they're different, very beautiful. And it's interesting, we were talking about the heart, and look what's right at the bottom of the deck. The first card that is here right now is, and this is really is the thing, it's about the sacred heart relationships. But, you know, it starts with you, okay? I've been doing a few readings for some clients as well recently, and interesting, the theme's very similar as well. And there's been a lot. I use the Osho deck often as well, and that has the Lover's card there is very much about self-love, and a lot of people be getting that, you see, because a lot of people got involved in relationships, and we've all done it. I've done it. You know, you go into relationships thinking the other person's going to be your kind of dream person, you know, going to solve your problems, going to be the person who's going to get you this, that, and, you know, emotionally fulfill you. But unfortunately, unless we start really getting to the heart healing center, we're not going to be able to really feel or draw and that kind of partnership up. All relationships do take work, okay? So let's not be kind of over imaginary about certain things, but there's a huge difference when you can get a partner that can mirror the sacredness of your heart as well. And really come from a place of just as much wanting to love fully and be part of the growth, which is really important. And so you can both grow in your heart and in your soul together as a journey. Okay, so this is the, like I said, Sunny Dawn Johnston. She also has a Facebook page. I'll put the link below right now so you can actually go and see her. She is a medium as well as a coach. And what else does she do? You know, let's have a look. So yes, so you can actually find it. And she also helps people through all, and this is her new deck, okay? And we shall use it. And I'm gonna see what else. I'm just gonna have a quick look, actually, just bear with me while I just, okay, so yeah, so she's a transformational thought leader and change maker, and as well as a psychic medium. So you can find her details there, and she's got a Sonny Dawn Johnston's community as well, if that is something of interest to you. Right, okay, so let me get back to this reading. Now, I also have launched 4 years ago, but I've never really plugged it out. I do have an Everyday Alchemist group page, and if you feel like you moved to start actually joining that, you can just request to join it, and I should let you in. And also, this is going to be a platform where you can now start, hopefully, by doing some work, maybe share your thoughts, maybe anything that you might want to discuss, or something in the reading. Feel free to post it up there so I can actually help you with that. Okay, so now we are going to go on to the earth signs, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And you want to be listening to this bit if you have your moon in any of those signs as well. Okay, so this is really important. Or, of course, if it's your rising and your sun sign. But personally, I think because these are the moon readings, it'll be quite nice for you to actually really pay attention to recognizing that maybe if your moon is in these areas, your natural moon, okay, as well as, of course, figure out where your Cancer moon is. Okay, so you want to look at where your Cancer falls in your chart, and then so you can get the Cancer vibe there, and you could correspond about what house it is in, and then you might have Taurus moon, and then so you can also this segment or Virgo moon or Capricorn, you might actually find there's a reading here for you. Okay, so you can jump across the air, fire, and all the other signs, basically all the other elements. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm using 2 decks for this section. Okay, and I'm going to use a Moon Oracle card. All right, for the Earth signs here. So again, if you're Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I'm just going to put see which card wants to come out. Okay, so for you, this particular new moon in Cancer is a good thing to be focusing. Okay, this is a really good intention. And again, if you see that she's got her head partly again in water, so I feel like again maybe immersing yourself, going out in nature, and then maybe see what kind of emotional nature is coming up for you. Okay, what needs transforming as well. Okay, this is a really good time to start putting some ideas that is going to give you some emotional well-being. Okay, and it's going to also allow you to have a spark of inspiration, and you can actually put intentions around those elements. Okay, when I say elements, what I'm discussing. Okay, so to do with focus, you might actually want to focus on love. You actually might want to focus about spreading your wings. You might want to focus on actually bringing a project to form. Okay, new moons are really great time to start something new, so I suggest that this is one that you might actually want to bring your focus into your inner being, and perhaps even like tuning into yourselves as well. Okay, that will really help for you to birth some new ideas. Okay, to create harmony as well. Okay, very important time to actually go out of your way to create harmony at this time. Let me see this. Okay, this is a multi-dimensional oracle deck now, so I'm going to see if this one card wants to pop out. Otherwise, I will just select one. This one. Okay, yeah. So again, this is really great. They're very both complementary. If you can, maybe some of you want to do some chanting. This is a really good one. This is about you connecting with the universe as well, and drawing that chant perhaps into your heart space as well. This is about mind-body unification. Okay, the sound Om is universe. The universe is sound. Okay, it's the purified, the mantras of the mantras, if you like, or the sound of unification. So, with this focus as well, perhaps going inward and maybe see what inspiration or what transformation, and maybe by doing this chant of Om for the next couple of weeks, certainly in the next, energy, but to the new moon, see maybe what could shift for you and what kind of energy, because doing sounds is actually so powerful. And until you actually do it, you won't actually realize how powerful it is. But if you actually apply yourself and really do some chanting for all the earth signs here as well, we've got any earth moon in your earth sign, a very good time to focus and see what will want to birth itself as well. Okay, and I'm sure you will see in your mind's eye maybe where your next step, or maybe what kind of emotional wellness you would like to bring into your life. Okay, so that's for the earth signs, and I'm going to leave that there. So next sign we're going to have a look at is the water signs. Okay, so I'm going to bring these cards back again so it may pop back out. So for the water signs, it's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, so the water sign, this is really important. Okay, again, that you pay attention to your moon. And so if you've got your moon in Scorpio and Pisces as well, you might want to listen to this element, this sign here. Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, all right. Okay, so I feel for you, the people with water signs, I've got the card of wisdom here. And I'm going to say that I feel that some of you actually have been really kind of digging deep or having to dig deep, or you might find they've actually got a lot of wisdom already within yourself, or your answers within yourself. Okay, wisdom comes from experience as well, so it's very important that you don't deny yourself what you know to be true for you as well. Some of you as well, as like I said before, you might be seeking some new learning, some new practices. So maybe as water sign, you could be already thinking about expanding your knowledge. Okay, something that you can take out to the world, I feel as well. Okay, and then trust the vibe that you're getting that's coming towards you in terms of what you might want to learn. Okay, and where you want to take what you know and perhaps go out to share it in the world. Okay, that doesn't mean to say it's necessarily one thing particularly. Okay, it could be an accumulation of the things that you already have learned and gained. Okay, you might be able to put that into writing, or you might actually put that out in the world. You might even want to put that over the internet as well, for some of you as well. So if you've got a sort of dominant sort of moon, or the moon for this new moon to do with Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, I feel that yeah, this is something very, very important for you as well. You know, to sort of rise above what you also can't see. If you can't see your way forward, just trust your inner navigation system as well. This is that card, okay, that I'm looking at from the Moon Oracle deck. Now, for your message from the multidimensional deck as well, I got two cards that popped out. So we're going to have a look at both. Interesting, the number 9 and number 7. So again, pay attention to those as well. Maybe you've seen number 9s repetitively, or number 7s, or if you see certain numbers like 2 and 5, that comes to a 7. So pay attention. Okay, there's a message here that's to do with magic. If you're number 7, happiness, dreams coming true. So again, this is a wonderful, wonderful possible message. Maybe something you've been hoping for is coming through as well. Okay, so just pay attention. You might have number 7 as your birthday number, or your life path number, or even just your number. Like for example, my 25th. Okay, so you know that comes to number 7. Okay, so this could be a nice time, a great time, in fact, to put maybe magically to start putting your intentions down there as well. And it's really important for anybody listening to this as well, that not to be afraid of putting really kind of what you really, really want to do and what you really, really like to do. I think that's really, really important. And that really kind of, I was reading a book by Melody Beattie, one of daily meditations, and the passage said something, you know, it's a good time to start feeling, and I always find it fascinating about things I find I'm reading coming up to the new moon and how reflective they are of the new moon that we're coming into. But she was talking about what you really feel like doing. And then she goes, and then the next question, what do you really, really feel like doing? And I thought, well, interestingly, that double really allows you to be more true. Okay, sometimes we're thinking on this level, but you know, what do I really, really want to eat right now? Where do I really, really want to go? You know, then it sort of gets to the inside, you know, maybe from the heart side. So again, it's really important that you put those kind of intentions out. Okay, so pay attention to number 7, you guys. And interesting as well, this card is a number 22, so a lot of number doubles on this one for the water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, rising sun, or the moon. But again, you know, the moon, it is a new moon reading, so do pay attention to your moon sign as well, if this is your moon sign. And finally, the next other card was number 9. Okay, or 9s. So again, patient to 9s, you know, 99, 999, whatever 9s are coming up. Okay, just pay attention to it. Okay, and of course, 9s often to do with completion and just, you know, releasing, which I think is really important as well. Okay, and I was saying this about having to release relationships, circumstances, family. So this could be speaking to you in this way for the water Scorpios and water signs, Cancer, sorry, and Pisces as well. All right, that I think you know deep down. Okay, this is where your wisdom is. You've see your life. You've been looking, have an awareness, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay, and you just know what you need to let go of now. There's a sense of maturity, hopefully, and making decisions to help you with certain completions and release as well. Okay, some releases don't have to be indefinite, you know, but it is right now what's important is you carve yourself this space where you can actually really tune in to your truth and to your light as well, by leaving things, people, noise, aggravations, you know, perhaps people who are very, you know, who interrogate, who speak at you. You get some people sometimes in life, they mean well, but they're actually speaking at you rather than actually speaking to you, you know, and you don't realize you're feeling a bit icky. You know, again, it's really important to pay attention to those who have a tendency to do that. Either communicate that honestly or just let it be, you know, and just move on and move away from that kind of situation. Okay, so I'm going to put these cards back. So I hope this message for the water signs has helped. So pay attention to number 7, number 9, whether it's trebles, doubles, or singles. Really tune into that. Okay, also know that you've got your inner wisdom. Okay, and for some of you, you might be going back to, actually, as a quick footnote that's come to my mind, you might be going back to some other old work, or maybe something you've done before, and putting it out there. So really be discerning as to maybe what is still something you can bring into your life. All right, that's going to bring the heartfelt, the kind of aligned self through the heart. Very important. So, you know, and again, you know, don't work for people who don't appreciate you, that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look. Next sign is air. Okay, so this is for the Aquas, me, Libra, and Geminis. All right, and again, this is also for anyone who's got the moon in the air sign, or of course, your rising or your sun. It could be a message. So you might find that you're now dotting about, seeing the different elements to give you an overall complete picture and a message that could be there for you. All right. These cards are really nice. They're very, very easy to shuffle, which is really nice. Sometimes you get new decks and they're so sticky that you can't even move them. You know, so 2 cards that come out. Right, so for the air signs, I've got, whoa, okay, that's really interesting. Great. Okay, we've got the card of discernment, which I've been saying. Okay, so again, be really discerning. So anyone with these elements of, you know, in your moon, air, and your emotional side, the moon, and what your sun sign as well. Again, this is now time to really be able to get the torture and be really clear about where you want to put your energy. Pay attention to how people are writing things as well when communicating, you know, or what they're saying, you know, because people can be saying something, but you can be feeling something. It's picking something else up as well. So this is where discernment comes into it as well. Okay, and then also, I'm looking at her hands there. You know, again, really kind of be contained about where you put your energy. Maybe keep your ideas right now to yourself, because you can't see your way forward. So pay attention to maybe what is speaking to you, what is moving you from the inside out as well. Okay, where you want to put your energy. Okay, I feel like this is telling me not to show everything out yet, whatever that means. Okay, yeah. Tune into, for those with the air sign element as well. You know, pay attention to maybe you can do some extra work on your chakras. I feel like in some way, I'm going to read this as well. This is about you really stepping into your masculine energy. We've got 2 cards, like I said, that's popped out. Okay, this is about you being there for yourself. This is about you taking care of yourself. So bringing the masculine into your sphere as well. So imagine maybe what would the perfect or ideal partner do for you? You know, what would your perfect lover do for you, right? And bring those elements to yourself. Okay, so instead of seeking it from the outside, to bring those elements to you. This could also mean, mean as well, and I'm going to read it as this, that there could be a partnership that is coming on its way, or it's being called, it's out there, and what you want is wants you as well. Okay, I don't think it's too far in the distant future. So those also single, I would definitely say that there could be an element of that connection coming up, but certainly really you united your masculine with your feminine side as well. Okay, there was something else that came to my mind. Oh yeah, if you're in a coupled partnership as well. Maybe you really need to bring the masculine into yourself and see if this is working, and do you need to act like the male person, maybe taking more charge for yourself, or also, I feel, in a really positive way, uniting as well. Now, I do know that we are moving into the next few weeks as well, and very closely on the 13th, I think, of July. So it's a few days after this new moon reading. That we've got Leo, Venus, sorry, and Mars, which is both the feminine aspect and the Mars aspect, is the masculine, conjoining each other, which means they're next to each other. So it's in a really lovely house of playfulness. Okay, Leo's all about bringing light into your life, a bit of childlike play as well, a bit of lightness, a bit of playfulness. Okay, so again, and also it's being activated, and because they're together, also there could be a lot of harmony there as well. So again, it's very possible that there could be very harmonious, so it's a good time to iron out a few kinks as well. This is, I'm talking about a few kinks, if you've got only a few kinks. But if you're in one of these relationships that have got constant challenges and battles, you really need to question and maybe have an honest conversation about that, okay? Because it will come up again as well, maybe around Libra time, if you're not doing something about it now. But this is also a really good time if you're actually paying attention to doing any heartfelt work for yourself, to actually really be honest about what is really making you thrive in this relationship or not. Okay, I might actually make that card in a minute. So this is again just for the air signs. Okay, so again, I do feel this is so weird. I do feel for some of you, this has come out again. So there's going to be some completions. I feel that this has to be some endings for some of you as well. Okay, and maybe releasing, and maybe even releasing is maybe being unattached to maybe certain things as well. So, when we call in love, and when we want love, or we want our partner to be a certain thing, acting a certain way, it is really important that we can also surrender it as well. That's part of the release, and it's really important. So there's that kind of, fine dance between desiring something, calling in something, also letting it go. Okay, so I'm not holding on to it too tightly. I don't think there's anything else. I think I'll just leave it at that. So I feel like for the air signs, make sure the discernment really is very key to releasing and completions and certain decisions to protect yourself, I feel as well. Okay, again, really be very careful of who you're bringing into your sphere as well. Okay, and as hard as it might mean having to let go of some old friends, or sometimes when we have friends who've been around for a very long time, have been very generous, it is actually harder. Okay, and this is about being really, really honest. Okay, and if you need time to take time out to retreat and really pay attention to what's going on, do so. Okay, and for the masculine card, I wonder if I put that. Let's have a quick look. I just actually want to look at 42, this card. Okay, may the positive attributes of the masculine align with me. So for the air signs, this is really important that you draw in or call in the positive attributes of the masculine being aligned. Okay, there's just time to step forward and take the lead. I think also what I want to say here is, you have to, in order to make really good decisions, you have to take the leadership, take the lead, being a leader in your own life. All right, that's really important as well. Okay, I did say something. This is a meme that I picked up the other day. It says here, be a curator of your life. Slowly cut out things until you're left only with what you love, what's necessary, and what makes you happy. I think to me also that I feel like that's actually sort of very poignant to taking a lead in your life as well. Okay, so really important that taking a certain amount of leadership. Okay, you have more power than you think. So again, about maybe generating your ideas, maybe taking your creativity out as well, or starting to formulate them. It says enroll in a course or learn new skill. Wow, okay, so I did say that as well. All right, so, this is a really good time to be doing this, I feel. And many of you could be thinking this, or integrating certain things that you've learned, and you're really putting it together. All right, take steps to improve your health and vitality. So again, for the air signs or anybody listening to got any air element, okay, across the board, this is very important. And that was the message from the general message. Okay, so is there anything else I want to pick up from here? the Mesopotamian sin shows us how to ask. This is this guy here, ask about the future and how important it is to protect. Okay, there are many more. Okay, this is a positive attribute of the masculine, such as strength, physical vitality, power of will, shielding and protection of the weak and the weaknesses within ourselves. And it's important for anyone to adopt, no matter what gender or orientation. Okay, should you pull this card, it's asking to step up into your power, uniqueness, and offer your guidance to those who may need it. Okay, so again, so talking about leadership, taking leadership as well, and maybe really sort of stepping out from the kind of shield there that you've got, maybe of being afraid to show up, maybe to be seen as well. She can't see a way forward, her eyes are covered, but you can't even see her face there. So maybe it's about time to really move the clouds and move forward and start showing up. So there's several messages there, underlying messages for the air signs, okay, especially in partnerships as well, which I think could be the case for some of you, but certainly taking the leadership in your own life. Okay, so let's move on finally to the fire signs, all right, which are Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. And again, if you've got your moon, sun, I will get the hang of this because, of course, this is me doing it for the first time. Moon, oh my God, all the other elements, okay, whatever, you've got your moon particularly, or your sun, sorry, and your rising. These are the three main areas. I know people talk about the Venus and all that, when you see them on YouTube. I think it's best to keep it simple, particularly, okay? So those elements are the main key elements. Of course, there are all the other planets that get affected. But I personally think the moon would be the most important one for these particular readings that I'm doing here. Okay, and do put your feedback or your comments. Let me know if this is a good way to go forward with. I might continue with this, and I'm aware that the videos will be longer, but this hopefully will be maybe a bit more personalized or individualized as well. But I always did trust that the collective readings will speak to the people who actually tune into it. So let's see what fire sign say to the fire signs. Very nice. Okay, so this is blossoming. Beautiful. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so this for me is definitely, again, putting your aim out there as well. All right, this is about really allowing your things that you've been sowing the seeds of, things that you're beginning to see flower. Maybe this is about time for maybe some of you have been really working on yourselves and cultivating on your heart chakra as well. Okay, you'll know if this is actually speaking to you. So this is a time for you to allow yourself to blossom. Maybe even taking some certain kind of classes or some kind of new skills for you to start blossoming and putting yourself in work out there as well. All right. Do pay attention to the moon cycles, not only this one, but perhaps maybe I'm getting that some of you actually fire signs, you might want to look at my full moon reading. There could be a particular message there for you as well, all right? The blossoming is also a master card number as well. I'm going to take the one that's fallen on the desk for me. It's fallen. Okay, this is wonderful. Okay, this is about, wow. Okay, fire signs, you're on a lucky streak. Okay, this is great news. This is about really, look at this. This is about, I think some of you have got your work that's going to be seen, all right, blossoming out. Okay, and I love this image as well because she's actually playing a tune there, and you can see that there's a light sort of piercing out of the vine and the neck of the vine. Right, and this is about you really taking yourself, being laser focused as well, and taking your energy out, and maybe putting your own song out there, and not to be afraid of showing what you do to the world. Okay, and this will probably speak to all the signs, be it rising for sure as well, because if it's your rising sign, it's your first house. First house is where you show up in the world. So if you've got particularly as well a first house, in Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, this could be really speaking to you as well. So this is maybe time for all that work you've done and all the cultivating, and amassing, I think, your experiences and integrating certain things. But this is certainly a time of blossoming. It could be a blossoming of also, I feel like this could be new birth for some people as well. It could be birthing not only some ideas, but maybe even a physical birth of some kind. It could be a business. as well that some of you have been planning, but this is now the time as well. And look at this, this is the other card we've got that's fallen out from the multidimensional deck, oracle rather, okay, and this is beautiful. This is Lakshmi. She is the goddess of prosperity, okay, and you can invoke on Lakshmi as well. She brings abundance, good fortune as well, okay, and you know, you can always seek out some mantras to call in Lakshmi as well. But this is very much a time of prosperity, to do with the career, to do with luck and service. So I think this is very in keeping. So for those with a fire element, either in your moon sign or your sun, particularly I think also on your first house as well, you might find that there is something, I feel like some of you are going to get noticed for your work, maybe hear something, or maybe you feel that there's some kind of an energy around your service that's beginning to get really seen, recognized, or certainly some promotion as well that could happen, perhaps even a windfall. So do leave me your comments, okay, and let me know if there's anything around the personal element reading tuned into that speaks to you. And like I said, we do tune into all the other elements that you have as key players in your own chart. It says here, do not give up. You have, this is, I'm just going to read quickly out the book for this as well. Okay, take no notice of what others think of you. Yes, this is about you putting your own tune out. Okay, this is about, you know, making your mark. Wow. Okay, making a mark, okay, and marking your victories as well. So really paying attention here. And it says, and the mantra here is, I joyfully blossom and I feel no fear. So this is really important that, you know, and you can only also derive and get this as an outcome, or as a bonus, if you like, by actually having no fear and just going for it and actually really putting yourself out there. But Lakshmi is there to help you right now as well, to really invoke that energy for you. Okay, so here it says fear is usually the thing that prevents the flow and blossoming. Okay, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of change, fear of what people think. So again, like I said before, you know, in order to birth new things, you've got to get out of this self-discomfort. You've just got to get past that, what people might think, what people might say. It's all about self-belief. So this is an opportunity as well for you to really implement those and to really bring those elements as well in order for you to blossom. So if you're the listener that actually struggling with, you know, kind of, you know, being stuck, you don't know where you're going to be going next, you don't know what, you know, just trust that, don't worry about what people think, just trust that you can release the fears, trust what you're feeling, okay, because life is always going to be a growth, okay, we're always growing, so there'll be a constant blossoming as we go through certain stages in our lives. But this is certainly a journey, a long journey for some of us as well, and it could have been a hard one as well, but it's really important that we don't give up. So, dear friends, thank you for listening. I really truly hope that you've enjoyed these elements of the new moon reading in Cancer. Do go right to the beginning if you want to re-listen to the general. All right, and then like I said, skip about. There will be time stamped rather. Okay, so you can actually look at them. And thank you for listening. And all my details are below. And if you'd like to make a donation, I've got a coffee donation button below, and that will take you onto my coffee platform where you can make a minimum donation of £3 or more. And for any readings or any coaching or any bookings, again, you'll find my details on my website, www.rafisaba.com. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and lots of love. And I send you lots of great new moon blessings. Do put your intentions out there, sit quietly for sure, go out in nature, and do some quiet, carve some quiet time and space and retreat, and that will pay dividends to your heart as well as your well-being. Thanks again, and I will lots of love. And all the details as well, just to quickly finish that, I will put the multidimensional oracle details at the bottom of the on the description box as well. So I will catch you next time. Bye.